Hey everyone, so today I'm going to transform this old Astro City jamma cabinet to a multi-game cabinet. The reason I'm doing it is because this monitor seems to be dead. I've tried all methods of troubleshooting and I cannot get it to operate correctly at all. I obviously have multiple cabs, so familiar with that stuff, but it's not coming on at all. Well, I should say it comes on, but it's scrambled. I'll turn it on just so you can see it. I currently have a PGM inside connected to it right now. So we'll turn it on, I'll show you the problem, and then we'll go through the process of transforming it and everything else. I'm not removing any of the jamma components, any of the power supplies, any of that stuff. I'm still leaving it there. The plan hopefully is that I can source another monitor and drop it in there. Who knows how successful I'll be with that. This cab is, I don't know, 25 years old probably at this time, or even older. And this is the original Astro City. It's not even a new Astro City, so trying to find a monitor for this is going to be problematic, or even a replacement. So it might be even cheaper just to find another cab to replace it than to find another monitor. But as I said, right now this video is all about the transformation. So first let's turn it on so you can see the issue. Get in there. So you'll see it come on in a few seconds, and you'll see the image is just not there anymore. So there it is in all its glory of how it's currently acting. As a side note, if anybody knows what the problem is when you see a monitor like that, please post in the comments, let me know. I'm more than willing to try out some more things, but I've already put several hours into this, and at this point I'm going a different route for right now. So first things first, let's turn this off. Then let's go unplug it. It's always easier to do this with two hands. Okay, that's unplugged. We also need to come in here and unplug this power connector. Since we're taking the monitor cab out, or I should say the monitor out. Okay, that's disconnected, and I believe there's one more connection we need to do right here. This one, gently. Okay, alright, that's removed. Now I'll set you here. Let's take the monitor out. Okay, so at this point you can see I've taken the monitor out. So what I'm going to do, I have, let's just take the camera loose again. I have gone to, I'm in the US, for you who don't know, I went to Best Buy and bought a, you can't see this, but this is a Samsung 28-inch widescreen monitor, and I'm going to put that in there. Obviously this right here that I just took out is a 29-inch monitor or tube. So how am I going to mount this inside the cab? So I took some plexiglass, and I have already cut some indentions in the plexiglass so that obviously it gets air and it's mounted. So basically the monitor, the flat screen is going to be mounted to the plexiglass. The plexiglass is going to be mounted to these bolts that obviously, if they can support a 29-inch tube, they can support that small little monitor there. And then I will run connections. So that says HDMI. I'll run the HDMI out to the multi-game. And there's a power connector right there. Okay, so about the multi-game. So basically what I did, let's just move this over here and light a little better. So I took one of those, you guys have seen them everywhere, those old Pandora cases, games, whatever. So I took a Pandora that was just in the storage nobody's using, and I just took the board out of that and everything else, and I'm taking that board, or I took that board and I put it here. So notice one thing, on the Pandora board box you got what, 2, 4, 6, 8 right there for player 1 and your control. So I switched the panel on my Astro City to just a single instead of the double, and I put the buttons here which will coordinate with everything else. So we're using these buttons here, this will match up and everything else here. Alright, so now what do we need to do? Notice that this panel is all plastic. So I'm still going to come back and put some acrylic under that. But for right now, that's the board that came out of the Pandora's box. Controller, wires, and everything else. I already hooked that stuff up. I'm trying to keep this video kind of short right here. And obviously the bolts that are going to be for the monitor right there. So I'm not trying to make this a 3-hour long video, so I just shorten some of the work. But obviously if you want to do this, obviously I think you guys will be able to get it, understand the steps. It's not that hard. So HDMI cable here, power here. Now how am I going to handle the powering on the unit? So what I'm thinking about doing to make this simple, so here's your standard power that you would see in the Pandora's box down there. Like I said, I took it out. I'm going to route it so that when I hit the power on my switch, the unit comes on. That means the TV will come on and the Pandora unit will come on. So literally hit one switch, everything boots up, and you just sit down and play. Similar how you would do it in arcades. You just flip one power switch and everything just comes on. So that's what we're going to do. So first things first, let's go ahead and get the monitor over there. And after we get it over there, we are going to obviously make sure it fits. But I think I measured this correctly. Okay, so it fits in there. We'll talk about the bezel in a little bit. That's phase 2. But so we got it in there. So let's go ahead and get some power. Well, I should say let's get some everything wired up. So power to the Pandora's box, Pandora board, I should say. Okay. Then we need HDMI to the Pandora itself. Okay. Now we need HDMI to the unit. Okay. And we need to get power to the unit, to the monitor, I should say. Okay, so right now what we have is, let's move the camera out again. We have the Pandora's box, the Pandora board hooked to HDMI. We have power coming into that, and we have an adapter. We'll look at it when we go back around the side. We have the monitor, which is hooked to this plexi base. The plexi base is going to be screwed in and mounted to the cab. The monitor is connected via HDMI and also connected with that cable for power for the monitor. So let's connect and secure the TV to the base. So I'm using the same exact, and because, like I said, we got this space here, and when you're sitting down, it'll be distracting just to see in the base of the cab. Some people may like that, some may not. So I am just going to put some Fox marquee or cardboard there, so that when I'm sitting here, whoever's sitting there is not looking through that, because it could be distracting. So, and obviously it's up to a lot of discretion of what you want to do here and how you want to do it. Like I said, I'm not planning on having this a long-term solution until I get another monitor or a tube to replace this. But until then, might as well make it look presentable at least. Okay. And I'm just hand tightening these. There's no need to go crazy because, one, compared to what this cab was holding with that other 29-inch tube monitor, the cab's probably thinking this is a breeze. Okay, we have everything mounted, secure. It's not coming loose, which is awesome. Next thing we need to do is make sure we have everything plugged in the back and handle that scenario. So this is the original cable for the Astro City. As I said, I am not modifying any of those parts. I'm keeping that in place in case I need to. So what am I doing? So I have put in here this is an extension that holds two plugs, one for the monitor and one for the Pandora's box, and I have that switched to on. So I am just going to attach this to the source right here. Okay, and then if I did it right, Okay, so we have power. Like I said, I had everything turned on to the on connection. The jack, I should say, the extension was already in the on position. So that came right up. I've already had the connections as far as the joystick and the buttons all wired up. That's lit up. Like I said, I'll probably come back, and even though this is plastic, and just apply, put this board, mount this board to a small piece of plexiglass just to do it, and just to ensure that it doesn't connect anything, any kind of shorts, anything like that. But it's on plastic right now, so I'm not worried about that right now. So next thing, let's talk about the bezel. So let's put this back over here for a second. So if you guys recall, this is the type bezel that fits for the 29-inch for the monitor. Well, this won't work for the widescreen. It's close, but it won't. This monitor, obviously you can't, it's hard to find a monitor that has the same dimensions as a tube. You can find them the same width, but the height is a little hard to do. So I'm not going to cut this bezel, like I said. I'm going to still come back later and use this when I resource me as a monitor. So what I did instead, and I'll get the camera for this to show you all, but, and this may be easier to see over here. So here's the Astro City frame, right? So I went and got some mesh and cut the mesh so that it fits inside here. So it'll give a nice bezel-like look for the cabinet. So let's apply this right now and take a look. And once again, the monitor, speakers, I left those alone. So those are still hooked up and everything else. So whenever I get ready to use the cab again, that'll still be using it. But of course the sound itself right now is going to come from the TV. Okay, so now let's get this lined up. There we go. Okay, so we now have it all hooked up. Let's get the camera over here so you can get a better look. So we have the Astro City, which was originally just hooked into jamma for jamma arcade games. We now have it converted so that it can run a multi-game system. So this Pandora's box I had, like I said, had this years ago just sitting in storage. Obviously I think they might be on 6th version right now, but either way, I mean, this one right here, and let's check these controls, which are looking good. 82 pages. So let's see how many games are in here. I can't even remember. Maybe it would have been faster if I went in reverse. So 815 games. Not bad. So, and then looking at the bezel, how I have that set, looks very well done. There's no light bleeding through, because remember, I have this huge light back here. And so if we had some light leakage, we would see it. But as you see here, there's no light leakage at any angle. So it came out very well and everything else. So what we're going to do is just for the last shot, I'm going to turn off the entire system so you can see the boot up, because I had it booted when I was behind the system. So we'll turn it off, turn it back on, and then we'll see the entire process. I know it may look like the light is on right here, but that's the light that's coming on, that's shining through from that other spotlight. That's not that actual light from the cab, just so anyone who wants to know that. So let's do that final shot and then we'll wrap this up. And once again, if anybody knows a good place to source those monitors, that tube monitor, please let me know. Okay, it's turned off. We're gonna turn the system off. I'm going to turn the system on, and we'll see exactly the entire process. So this is just an idea for anybody who has, you know, a sit-down cab. They can't get a new monitor. It's a pain to get it. You can always do this for, you know, a temporary, or if you want it to be permanent, for your cabs. So obviously these cabs are still prized as far as being so small and unique, the candy cab. So you wouldn't want to get rid of it just because your monitor went wrong or you had a problem with it. So you can do that. And there you go. So like I said, this monitor, I just got it from like Best Buy. I think it was, you know, maybe like $80. It wasn't expensive at all. So the monitor cost wasn't expensive. Plexiglass that I got from, you know, a hardware shop, I think I spent $20-$30 top for that. And then you have your cost for your extension cables and everything else. So overall, yeah, I probably spent maybe $250 at most to get everything wired up. Oh, I mean, I did get a different panel, but that was just my choice to get a different single player panel. And I know some people may say, well, why didn't I just put in the green buttons? Well, everybody has the green one, so I just chose blue just to match up with the Sega blue here. So just to be a little unique there. So there you go. I'm going to lastly disconnect that arcade board. Going to close up. And there we go. Nice and neat. I'll put it back into its right spot. And it's ready to be used. And you know what? Since we're here, let's just start up a game. What is this? Mark of Wolves. Oh, Rage of Dragons is an old favorite. Awesome. I still need to get the original version for the NVS of this game. I haven't had a chance to get it. I have another multi card, but I need the original version. Well, I mean, that looks clean. I mean, if I wasn't like a hardcore arcade person, I would just say forget looking for the other monitor and just leave it like this, because I mean, no light bleeding back. Those edges are clean. So I'm very happy with how this came out. I wonder, that's the menu button. Awesome. So last thing, I'm just going to pull over this monitor, the tube, and record this for posterity in case anybody knows or can source. This is a Toshiba A68KJU96X. If anybody has a monitor they're not using, extras or anything like that, or if they know where I can source another monitor to replace this one to put back in the cab, please let me know. And other than that, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this gave somebody some ideas out there, or you just enjoyed seeing me setting up a new cab for a new purpose and getting it up and running. But anyway, talk to you all later. Please like the video and subscribe. Peace.